This is Eagle News for Tuesday, March 9th, 2021. I'm Chris Wright in Washington. 12 Republican state attorneys general sued the Biden administration over its climate change executive order, arguing the order will destroy jobs and America's energy independence. 19 states asked to intervene in a Supreme Court case to defend a Trump administration rule prohibiting Title X family planning money from being used to fund abortions. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem is expected to sign legislation to prohibit transgenders from competing on female high school and college sports teams. An estimated 320,000 refugees from socialist Venezuela in the U.S. illegally have been granted temporary protected status. A new report by dozens of experts accuses China of genocide against its Uyghur minority population. The head of DHS said the crisis at the southern border is overwhelming and called for volunteers to help deal with the problems the Biden administration has caused there. Those are the top stories, details in the links below. Now for the Daily Skirmish. Joe Biden was completely wrong when he said Antifa is just an idea. It wasn't just an idea that rioted 100 straight nights and attacked federal buildings in Portland last summer. Antifa is half anarchist and half Marxist. Some say Antifa is not organized, but it is highly organized. Antifa groups are tightly networked into a cell structure and well funded to boot. They can project power nationally, and their tactics are highly evolved and continually changing. All of these are hallmarks of a sophisticated effort that should be taken seriously when it says its goal is to bring down the U.S. government. Despite what you hear from the corrupt Washington establishment and the discredited Southern Poverty Law Center, it is Antifa, not white supremacy, that poses a major threat to our constitutional order. Some states know all this and are fighting back with new legislation to counter Antifa. Viewed broadly, the legislation raises criminal penalties, addresses Antifa's funding, and holds elected officials accountable for allowing far-left radicals to run amok in their cities with impunity, as in Seattle and Portland. In Florida, among other things, the legislation increases the penalties for violent assemblies, holds organizers and funders of such assemblies liable for racketeering, and allows local governments to be sued for money damages if they fail to protect persons or property during violent assemblies. Rioters will no longer be eligible for state benefits or employment. A bill in Utah contains similar provisions and goes on to stipulate rioters who are arrested can be denied bail. Rioters are also prohibited from throwing saliva, blood, urine, or fecal material. A bill in Kentucky also shares some of the features of the Florida legislation, but adds strong prohibitions against camping, which would prevent rioters from taking over territory and setting up lawless autonomous zones on state property. A resolution in Montana calls for groups and organizations across the United States who act under the banner of Antifa to be designated as domestic terrorist organizations. I hope the bold actions of these states will encourage you to work for laws to counter Antifa in your state. A pro-Constitution group got the ball rolling in Utah, so ordinary people can change things for the better. I have more information and access to a counterinsurgency expert to help get you started. Contact me at tips@liberato.us. See you next time. I'm Chris Wright in Washington.